welcome back to Augmented Naturally. I'm your host, Jess Storm. This week we're talking about Giovani's special research. Now we're into the third month, but there are a few details that I do want to go into. So keep working out at the gym, keep on your commute, listen up. I got a few random things to talk about. So the main thing to keep in mind is Giovani's special research is for the legendary shadow Pokemon. Now, the legendary shadow Pokemon, it changes slightly each time, the details, the text, and all the other information. But the main thing at the end is Giovani with one of the legendary birds. Now, the legendary birds are Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres, Uno, Dos, Tres, for those that never really noticed it. Anyway. The shadow Pokemon forms of those birds will be available once you find and defeat Giovani at the end of this long quest line. Each one was unlocked for each month. We had November, December, and now January. You have until the exact end of said month to complete that research for that bird. Now, currently, I cannot confirm, and I'm not sure, but if you haven't completed any of them, then you may be able to get all 3 of the completions as Moltres, because it will factor in each month that you complete it, but it will only be one at a time. It can be a little tricky, especially considering that there is a time gate on some of it. And that time gate will be about 5 days of spinning Pokestops. So, if you had actually started on January 1st, or if you had a partial one from the previous month already completed, then once you complete that, you will still be able to complete that mission from the previous month, but the reward at the very end will only be a Shadow Moltres. You'll get 2 of them, but it will only be the current one for that month, from what I'm told. The thing to keep in mind is with the Super Rocket Radar, that's the one that you find Giovani with. Most people say that the best way to actually do this is do not face off against Giovani immediately. Wait until the end of the month for it, because with that Super Rocket Radar, you will actually find more grunts because they are decoys trying to throw off the trail of Giovani. The other intricacy that you wanted to do was to farm mysterious components before paying for a rocket radar. Because once you have a single regular rocket radar in your inventory, you will not be able to get any more mysterious components, which can be a bit of a pain, but use it or lose it, quite simply at that. So, if you have a rocket leader that you are interested in facing off against, fight them right away, and then continue to farm mysterious components, but do not purchase any rocket radars if you still have a regular rocket radar in your inventory. That way you can save that coin for when you actually need to face the team leaders in a pinch. Sometimes when it comes to Community Day, it can be a bit slower. Sometimes when it comes to Community Day, there's plenty of team leaders and plenty of rocket stops to go around depending on your location. And other times you're just out of luck. But there's plenty of grunts, but not enough team leaders. So by the time that you actually face off against all the other grunts, you'll have another Super Rocket Radar that will save you the coin because you didn't need to buy one because you didn't jump the gun. You farmed up those mysterious components, that way you didn't have to pay for the rocket radar. Now, if you're shiny hunting and going hardcore with it, feel free to buy them, but you can still do it the same way that we were already talking about. just depends on how fast you're going through areas and how many team leaders are within your vicinity. Quite simply, before you use the rocket radar, you can click on the button to scan the vicinity and see all the other ones that are around. That will show you that, okay, there's 4 team leaders over there. I can use this, fight the other ones, and then go for it. Outside of the rocket radar's information, you can see just quite simply the shaded Pokestops that the other grunts are already hiding at. I may have parts of my Cliff cosplay there. Not sure if anything's coming up for February 14th. Anything could happen. Anyway. So, those are the subtle intricacies that you can do to maximize your mysterious components and optimize your rocket radars. The other things you want to keep in mind that currently the Team Rocket leaders have a few Pokemon that haven't changed yet. Probably by the time I put this out, they're probably about to change, or they'll probably change beginning of next month. Yeah, they're either going to change it with the Lunar New Year, or they're going to change it with Valentine's Day update. So look forward to probably about January 25th, end of January, February, early February. Something like that. We're getting back into the slew of holidays where it's probably going to be a couple holidays here and there and all these different things. So the things to keep in mind when it comes to currently. Now, in the past, Sierra had Sneasel. The thing to keep in mind with the Team Rocket team leaders is they have the chance of being shiny. And that shiny and their IV chance will actually change. Well, this is a hack. This is a hack if you're in the same location that you were an hour or two ago. So quite simply, if you engage the Rocket team leader and do not catch the Pokemon and come back within 2 hours, or every hour it will change from each interaction point. Now, I don't exactly suggest this, but it is a possibility that you can re-roll the IVs and shiny chance if you come back in an hour after facing off against them. I did experience it myself during Community Day yesterday, where I engaged Sierra, had an Absol at 550, showed up an hour and 20 minutes after that, and the IVs had changed to 520. Most likely it will be a decrease in IVs, but if it's shiny, that's pretty good too. But it can be considered an exploit, so I don't necessarily suggest it. It's exploiting the way the code works. But the main thing to keep in mind is the Team Rocket team leaders have their shiny chance available for those Pokemon to be Shadow and Shiny. So Sierra currently has Absol. Prior to that, Sierra had Sneasel. Cliff currently has Stantler. Prior to that, he had Meowth. Arlo has Bagon. Prior to that, he had Scyther. What it will change to afterwards, I don't know. But currently, as of recording, yeah, it may stay the same, or it may change, like we were saying, for Lunar New Year, or for the Valentine's Day type update, where they do plenty of pink Pokemon, stuff like that. The other thing to keep in mind when it comes to Team Rocket, if you're new to the game or new to us, we haven't gone over it before, so this is our refresher. Team Rocket, Team Go Rocket, gotta make sure we make that iteration, is actually a PvP-based system. So most PvP Pokemon will benefit from this system, but Team Go Rocket will actually build their team based off of your highest team itself. So if you have a Master League team already set up, then their team will be based off of Master League. That way, certain players that aren't prepared for those leagues aren't actually going in there at a disadvantage. For most of us players that have been playing since the day it came out, the thing you want to keep in mind is Master League is typically the easiest because your 100% IV Pokemon that you have the best counters for, those ones will be typically the best of the best. Even though Team Rocket, just like Raid Pokemon, have enhanced their Pokemon to be exponentially larger CP and hit very hard, you can still win these battles as long as you do your research. Now, usually you want to roll in with a high attack Pokemon that has decent defense and has a charged attack that has multiple bars on it. Team Go Rocket, their leaders up to Giovani, will actually use shields for each charged attack you use. So if you roll in with a Pokemon that has a 1-bar charge move and you spend the entire time charging that up, it's going to use a shield, so you're out of luck. Sorry. So if you roll in with a Pokemon that has a 3-charge bar attack for under PvP, make sure you keep that in mind for trainer battles. That will allow you to burn their shields, then allowing your main Pokemon to roll through and stomp them all. So I usually roll in with a Machamp of some sort, charge up that attack, switch to my 3-bar charged Pokemon, and then I'll use my 3 bars, get those out of the way, and then I'll roll back in with my Machamp already with its moves charged up. It'll take a few hits, and then it'll go down. Then I bring out the other Machamp, and then it usually wipes out the rest, because that Machamp can now use its charged moves based off of all the stuff that was going on. Now, if you are unaware or unable to use or not familiar with the Pokemon Go PvP system, the things you want to keep in mind is each type is a different pattern. And that pattern that you complete is based off of that type. So in order to get practice for it, you just want to roll into Team Rocket or to any PvP battles, or even face off against your team leaders with a Pokemon that has multiple types, or get your practice in with all the different types. That pattern will not change, except for fighting. I think fighting is RNG. It would make sense if it were RNG. But typically, most patterns come in the same order. So they're all in the same order, coming at the same rate. You just have to do zigzag or circles. You don't have to tap. You can swipe, you can slide, different things. Just make sure that you get all of them. You have a buffer of 1 or 2. If you miss 2 of them, then you only get a good. If you get all of them, you get an excellent. And if you only get a few, you get a nice. There are different PvP strategies that you can use, but versus Team Rocket, it's hit or miss whether you actually want to or not. That's the Team Rocket, Team Go Rocket update, Giovani update. So, good luck, good calls. We'll catch you in the next one.